Cottesloe in Perth, Western Australia for this round 4 Fortescue Premier Grade clash between Cottesloe and Palmyra. My name is Mitch Hardy and it's great to have your company on Stan Sports. With me in commentary this afternoon is former Western Force hooker Heath Tessman, as well as Nick Neary. And Tess, lovely to be back here at Harvey Field.
Afternoon, as both teams are starting to make their way onto the pitch. Conditions are great down here. There's a strong southwesterly blowing in over the Indian Ocean. It'll be interesting to see what effect that has on how both teams play this game.
And thanks to Heath, great to be, and Nick, nice to be back here at Harvey Field. Perfect conditions for rugby this afternoon.
Yeah, 100%. Nothing you could describe more about Cottesloe rugby than what we have in front of us this afternoon. As he said, that wind blowing across the ground, it's going to favour you running into that back right corner, and our favourite limestone brick in the far left of your screen is exactly where you want to kick the ball over and over and again when you're running to the left of screen. We're going to quickly jump across to the current ladder in the competition, Mitch.
Yeah, Netherlands on top of the table. They had a great win last week. West Scarborough joining them on top. A couple of teams on the bottom there. Rockingham, Arcs and Associates yet to have a win, but certainly the top 6 are starting to shape up, and Cottesloe sitting there in 5th position, taking on 7th position Palmyra as a replay of the 2021 Grand Final. As we look at the team of the week from round 3, a number of players there featured. Liam Goulet from Palmyra, Reece Sanapu from Palmyra, James Blackburn from Cottesloe, as well as Samuel Jurisic from Palmyra, and Vili Sawalu, the number 7 from Cott, also featuring the team of the week. Looking at the lineups today, both teams very strong lineups. Young Phoenix Hunt, the number 9. Peter Grant, the former Springbok, at number 10 there for Cottesloe. And for Palmyra, Ned Slack-Smith, Mikey McDonald, 9. Jack McGregor, the Western Force, number 10. Mitch Short, Rowetta Biddle, one to watch out wide. Manahera Eden, as we're about to pass over to referee Matt O'Brien this afternoon to get us underway.
Jack McGregor, a great test for him with the kicking duties for Palmyra this afternoon. Coming up, as you said, Mitch, against a former South African fly half himself. Just waiting on the referee's orders. We'll be underway in just a moment's time. Palmyra Cottesloe Grand Final rematch. Lots on the table here this afternoon. McGregor to get us underway will be kicking left. Sends this one quite deep. Just going to curl back in that wind as spoken about previously. Just lost forwards off the hand of Tahiti into touch.
So the wind and the conditions down here really important when you're playing down at Harvey Field. That breeze will be pushing off the ocean this afternoon, probably at the backs of the Cottesloe players, but nice little restart there from number 10, Jack McGregor for Palmyra. He'll be looking forward to getting some rugby under his belt after having a number of weeks out of the Western Force 23. Reece Sanapu, usually number 9 for Palmyra. He's moved to the centres this afternoon to allow for Mickey McDonald, the Western Force number 9, to have a start this afternoon. Mitch Short, great to see him out, number 13 for Palmyra this afternoon. He's a real talent. It's great to see him back in the midfield playing for Palmyra, and they'll be really up against it this afternoon. It's a really talented back line for Pally, and first set piece of the afternoon.
Set! 2, 3, 4.
Great hit by both sides. Well hooked backwards. Palmyra with ball available at the back. They're just going to go with a short little run inside the 22. First chance is going to be all over it for Palmyra, and it's going to be Rowetta Biddle in the corner. Absolutely nothing offered in the way of defence there. 5 points to 0.
Oh, wow. First touch for Rowetta Biddle. This is his first game for Palmyra. He's gone on a plane from Russia, of all places, to come and join the club here. Former New Zealand Sevens squad member. Was plying his trade over in Russia. When the war broke out, he put an email out to the Palmyra club, can I come and play for you blokes? And hasn't he rewarded the cost of the airfare? Crashing over in the left-hand side corner. Great little bit of footwork. And Heath Tessman, a great little bit of set-piece play from Palmyra to open things up.
Yeah, they had that really good platform set up there by Ollie Frostick at the tight head there on Palmyra's side. But just soft D for that first phase, wasn't it? Rowetta Biddle, he just made that look too easy. And what about the finish as well? It was beautiful to see.
Fantastic dive over into the left corner, over the post. Has made that left corner post a little askew now.
So certainly, if you're on the Palmyra committee, and the coach, Darren Reid, you'd be kind of a little bit chuffed that Rowetta's shown a little bit of talent early on.
Well, that's the 2 new recruits, isn't it, with Ollie Frostick as well, coming here just this season, both of them back to back, joining up somehow, a prop and a winger, but paying dividends quickly.
McGregor with a kick from the sideline. Wynn's going to push this one back towards him, so needs to hang it well out to the right, gets it in the air. And he gave it enough juice, but Wynn just absolutely taking effect, falling up just short in front of the stick. Score's going to remain 5-0.
As we have a look at the replay, there was a lovely solid scrum platform, and just being able to play inside Phoenix Hunt there. And what a great finish. Bit of hang time, diving over the top of that left-hand side corner. There's Peter Grant, gets us back underway.
Nicely underneath it, not too much being offered in forms of a chase. Could take it on the chest, take it to ground. Good pop ball, one out to the side. Palmyra content just to hold things in. They're going to look with the box. Over the ties nicely by Michael McDonald. Cottesloe with their first touch of the footy. Just running down the short side, looked to run out of a bit of room, had to crack back in. A penalty for high contact on Brad Avery.
Accidental.
Yeah, last time we were down here at Harvey Field, Brad Avery had a pretty good game, the young 17-year-old player. He's got some good footwork, got a good turn of speed. And being able to apply his trade with some experienced players like Springbok Peter Grant will be a great occasion for that young man. First line out of the afternoon, Heath Testman, Michael Walker from Cottesloe, big job for him.
Yeah, huge job in these conditions. It's going to be really interesting to see where Cott look to win the ball.
No, too late.
Obviously,
Too late.
they want to win the ball down the back to give their backline the best chance of attacking ball, but with this win, they might just need to win it wherever they can.
Couple set up in the back line. Greg Jackson looking the most likely. Wants to run onto this. Ball will eventually find him on the outside. Palms off one, gets through two. And then a little offload on the outside. Was it off a hand? Goes into the in goal. Just needs to dive on it. Referee looks around. And he's going to have a chat on the sidelines.
Wow, Greg Jackson, that time getting rid of a couple of would-be defenders. It was a lovely little ball from Gio Leotuala. Let's have a look at the replay. It was a pretty loose ball off the top. Phoenix Hunt did well with the pickup. It was a lovely ball from Grant to Leotuala. Just held it up nicely and put Jackson through. Off, big fend on one, able to get around for the second. And this pass here, I reckon it's just fractionally gone forward.
Referee has conferred though with his touch judge.
Wow.
Not forward, not lost forward as well.
Yeah, well certainly there wasn't a knock on there, but there was a hint of that pass going forward. But Cottesloe gets away with it. It's a lovely little run from Gregory Jackson.
5 points all now, kick to come from the opposite corner of the field.
Yes, Brad Avery, the youngster, gets chalked up for that one. And Cottesloe bounced back straight away. And it's probably at least a 10 to 12 point breeze, I reckon, in this first half, Heath, with, Cottesloe are going to have to get their tails up, make sure they dominate this first half.
Yeah, and they can afford to with the kicking options that they have through their backline. Where you go through with Phoenix Hunt, Peter Grant as well, Gio Letuala, Brad Avery, they've all got strong boots and they'll all be hugging that limestone wall on the far side.
Great strike of the ball, but just didn't get any effect of the wind, just pushing it out to the right-hand side by about 15 to 20. Direction an issue first up here for Letuala. 5-5 is the score.
And the old boy Peter Grant not taking the kicks for goal this afternoon. The old groin might be a little bit tight for him, you reckon, Heath?
Oh yeah, there's probably a few thousand kicks in those pins right now as well, so maybe he's just leaving it to the young bulls and let them see. Maybe he'll come over the top a bit later in the match.
Kickoff received right on the 22, brought to ground. They're outside, so they're going to look around first phase. Sitting in the pocket is Peter Grant, though. So side against him, Hunt goes aerial. Great box kick, pressure on the catch, overrunning it a little bit. Diving on it, Cottesloe, really good work by Mickey Walker by the looks of things. But he has knocked it forward at the bottom of the ruck. Scrum down, Palmyra ball.
It was a nice box kick that time from Phoenix Hunt. Got plenty of hang time on the ball. Probably would have liked to send him go long and hug that limestone wall. Just the slightest knock on from Michael Walker on the ground that time. It's going to give Palmyra their second scrum feed of the afternoon.
First scrum was good up front, Heath. Is there any dominance you can really gain out of that first?
No, the parity was good. It's going to be really interesting to see who can get some dominance here coming through. Ollie Frostic standing up, waiting for the ref to call it. We'll go again here.
I thought for a second Matt O'Brien was going to try let that head pop back in and we're actually going to have a bit of a contest. Wisely going against it.
So both teams coming off a win last week. Cottesloe getting up narrowly over the Wanneroo Dogs 31-26. Palmyra chalking up a big win, 67-3 over the Rockingham Roos.
Chance on the left wing here. For Biddle to go again, one-on-one with Fifi Tatovo. Go against it, backdoor McGregor. Nice cutout ball, Eden just losing it forward, back in the 15 jersey. After the first couple rounds this season. Maybe a little bit rusty running on.
Oh, I don't know about that. It was an absolute peach of a ball from Jack McGregor. Hit him right in the chest. Couldn't have made it any easier for Menahara Eden. I reckon he might have just had a Captain Cook. A little look up to see what was in front of him. He's not doing the basics well, Pally. So they'll be looking, Cott will be looking to this right-hand corner to kick to, I'd imagine. Peter Grant, that left-hand winger was up. Now he starts to drift back. So they had that right-hand corner to kick into, which is where I'd be going.
You can really just start to bully oppositions. If they don't send that left wing back early in this half, Cottesloe's home field advantage is going to take strong effect. Romano, Walker and Fulgrave get their first attempt at their own ball off the scrum, but they get sent backwards. Lost backwards at the back as well. Referee's going to say pulling out.
Oh, Pete Testman, what do you reckon about that one? Pally looked dominant.
And they looked very dominant. I thought it was going to be a tough call on the Cottesloe pack for just getting pushed backwards, but I'm not quite sure what the referee's called there. I'd love some confirmation as well, along with the rest of the front row.
It'd have to be on the far side, pulling down and in, if anything.
Let's have a look. There's a replay here. Yeah, probably on the far side, a little bit of boring in there, maybe. Just the hips flew out. But you know, as well as I do, Heath, that I go, not much idea about what goes on in that front row, so we'll leave it for your expertise.
5 in. Long call goes up at 3. Darted straight down, not much on offer there for Hunter. Just has to take things in, gets held up into a maul. Palmyra all over this ball, and they're happy to surrender things to the ground now. Great defensive line outwork, Palmyra. They come up with a scrum.
Oh, Zane Herrick, the Ned Slack-Smith, I should say, the Palmyra number 6, climbing over that bit of mountaineering, trying to climb over that one and kill it off. Phoenix Hunt that time, just not being able to get a knee on the ground. You see, not sure Ned Slack-Smith was either on side there. I'm not sure you can come around to the opposition side of a maul and try and kill it off there. Probably ARs need to help their referee out a bit more on that one. Not sure how legal that is, Nick, to be able to run around the opposition side of a maul to kill it.
It just all happened so quickly. I don't think they knew what blue was what blue. Good call at this scrum though, straight down on this near side. Right here for the Palmyra bench to see. They're getting really stuck in now, Heath.
Yeah, lots of banter, lots of chat down here. The Pally pack is fired up. They've got a big group of boys as well, so they're really looking to assert dominance early, and they're gaining it too.
Oh, not out.
Win pushing that one back into play. Blackburn just throws it across the back. Avery kicks long. This one's going to hang for McGregor. Takes it just outside the 22, and they're going to play laterally here. Bit of space on the outside for Manahira. Eden decides to give it to the early try scorer on the left-hand side. Just brought ground. 45 from their own line. A good net gain from a missed kick opportunity. Cunningham, backdoor McGregor, floating it over the top, a chance wider still. Another break through the line for Jones. Inside ball is fantastic. Jackson Pugh taking him on one by one now, slicks through a couple more. A little bit of ankle work by Mickey Walker to take him down to the ground. Quick release, McGregor getting it on the bounce. Now firing outside again, chip over the top. Unorthodox, Fifi Tatova's just got to go back. Circle around this one and stay in the field of play. Come back for a penalty.
Yeah, all offside in the midfield there by Cottesloe, trying to snap off the overlap that Palmyra had. It was Jack McGregor throwing a few long balls out there this afternoon. It was a dreadful kick for touch. But they've done well on the counter-attack. And creating some good opportunities in attack here, Palmyra. They just got to nail it. Jackson Pugh getting involved, acting like a bit of a winger down here on the right-hand side touchline, evading a few would-be defenders.
Had a bit of wheels.
He's pretty mobile.
You can only have like 3 shots to do it.
You just sense that Jack McGregor is probably just short of a bit of game time. He hasn't had a lot of Super Rugby time this year, and Hasn't had a lot of club rugby time either, so just a little bit rusty. A little bit too eager to throw those long balls as well. I'd like to see him taking the line a little bit more before he looks for those long passes, just to maybe establish a couple more phases.
I don't think we've made it out of the third or fourth phase yet in this first 13 minutes of a game now.
Yeah. Fairly straightforward kick for him here. Jinxed him. I jinxed him.
That has gone high. Hasn't even made it dead in goal. Eventually going down now. We'll have a 22.
Put the absolute mocker on him there, Mitch.
It is interesting because he does like to go aerial with his kicks. It does throw him up into the wind.
Yeah.
Might just need to start drilling through some this afternoon.
Oh, you'd expect a little bit more from a seasoned professional rugby player from Jack McGregor, though. We're 15 metres out from the goal line.
Long drop. Settles on the opposition 40, and it's going to give the captain of Palmyra, Cunningham, a chance to build up a head of steam. Gets turned around on halfway. Palmyra bench still happy with his efforts, though.
Roll, tackle.
Hugh.
Thank you. No, blue.
Mahaki just over halfway. Now looking to build, but through the middle. Great little carry by McDonald, trying to find a bit of support left and right. Can they steady the line out on the right-hand side? Skips over Cunningham, finds its way for Short. Short gets triple team. Pugh doing a mountain of work here early. Just climbing over the top of bodies. McGregor. Karma this time just finds it to Vadioala. Up on the 22, looking for another entry now. Cut out ball for this winger that's already scored one try. Breaking through 1, 2, 3 tries. Just short of the line. 1, 2, 3 tackles should have been the call. Over the line. Great work, Ned Slack-Smith. But once again, set up by Ruata Biddle. He's something special here, Mitch.
Yeah, great little bit of footwork here from Ruata Biddle. Evaded a couple of would-be tacklers. And that time, Palmyra showing a nice little bit of composure. Ned Slack-Smith, just a nice straight running line. Too big, too strong. Over she goes for Palmyra's second try this afternoon. So Palmyra looking to go wide on a regular basis here, Heath.
Yeah, they're really chasing their arm, and maybe it's just because of that little bit of breeze that they're able to keep the ball in hand and look to play with that width. The most important part, though, is as they're getting that width, the players that are coming onto the ball are taking it direct. So they're hitting the line square and they're hitting the line at pace, which makes it hard for the defence to really stay tight and get those double shoulders on which they're looking after. Pally Ford's doing a great job right now as well. We've just touched on Jackson Pugh, how much work he's getting through. He's having carry after carry, beating guys every time he runs it as well. And they've got the Cop boys on the rack when they're able to hold the ball for a few phases there.
Yeah, and your boy Ollie Frostick, bit of a good carry from here earlier on off that little nip and tuck from Mickey McDonald.
Oh, we spoke about him in his first game in that round 1 at Wanneroo. How much would he be loving it down here? 12 degrees and rain, and that's a nice sunny day in Scotland. But down here, we're easing in on winter, and look at it. It's a cracking day, and he's getting to play some running rugby as well as dominate at scrum time.
Early kicking change here, so McGregor maybe not feeling the boots so far today. Wants to hand him off to Michael McDonald with his first chance today. And that looks like a much more compact motion over the top of the ball. 5 players, 12. Palmyra take the lead firmly.
Yeah, that's the sort of composure we want to see from Palmyra this afternoon when they get in behind the opposition, just to be able to settle things down, use their strong ball runners from Ned Slack-Smith, Cunningham, and Pugh. They've got plenty of options there, and Mickey McDonald will be looking to use those guys each time they get in behind the Cottesloe defensive lines. Peter Grant goes long.
Napped up tidily. Just kicked from inside the 22. Ball boy unaware, hits him on the shin, but makes it just over halfway. Ruata Biddle, he's got every bit of footwork. He's got it on the toe as well.
Yeah, it's a very different looking Palmyra backline to the one we saw a few weeks ago against Wanneroo.
Nicely one at the top by Cottesloe, a little bit on the outside shoulder, but referee plays it on, just trying to find a way through the line. Greg Jackson eventually receiving ball, lost backwards from defenders, and offside playing on the ground.
Oh,
bit stiff.
That is real stiff. Again, the ARs need to be helping the referee out a little bit more. That was clearly off a Palmyra hand, that pass. It was play on all day. It was a nice little break here. It was a good ball away from Jackson. That ball there came off a Palmyra hand. I'm not sure how he deems that to be offside. Bit of an interesting one.
McGregor's having an absolute stinker off the boot here. He's gained about 4.5 metres there with a nice 18-metre angle. No better look to go up the sideline. Still in their own half. Palmyra up at 1. Just find this one backwards into a nice favourable maul position. Mahaki with ball at the back and things start to stagnate once. The call comes from the referee of Hughes. They've managed to stiff forward. Over the top from McDonald, it gets blown backwards in the wind. Trying to hold it is Cunningham, lost forward. Shifting out on the right-hand side, Cottesloe turnover ball. Liatula now, Fifi Tatovo, just trying to muscle through halfway. Very evident this wind's going to have a big, big effect on the scoreline. Palmyra unable to gain any ground off 2 kicks in their own play, gets turned over. Now it's just up to Cottesloe to slow things down, bore them out of this, and find themselves with a forward pot on the right-hand side, but meeting a bit of a counter-ruck. Good flat ball across the line. Now they'll look to go aerial. Hunt setting to box.
No, out now. Use it, please.
Does so justly. Biddle losing it backwards. But could even be Eden. It is Eden on the far side over there now. Finally, a passage of play longer than 2.5 minutes. Palmyra with it all to do from inside their half. Probably won't be looking to the boot McGregor at this stage. They're probably going to spin it wide. Deciding against it though. Straight back into the air, driving it through McDonald. And shifting it across the line. Cottesloe back up aerial again. Nobody wants to play with ball in hand. Favourable position's going to be the key here this afternoon. Both teams standing off. A little chip over the top, Palmyra. Outside for Grant, looks to dummy to no one on the outside and gets driven backwards in contact. Counter up from Palmyra, straight over the top. Turnover ball, plenty of players out on the left-hand side.
Right, we'll go back for a knock on. Geez, some interesting play happening from both sides here as we're watching a replay. Ned Slack-Smith, a bit of dummy and carry. No, it's hard to pick up the knock on. It was obviously a knock on inside that ruck there. But geez, I could have sworn Pally had a knock on back here on halfway from that first box kick from Mickey McDonald that went nowhere. And referee Matt O'Brien just seemed to let play go on for an eternity there. And I can't see where Cott was any better off. No advantage whatsoever from the knock on. So, and I'm just a little bit filthy on Greg Jackson and James Blackburn out here for Cottesloe. Very lazy getting back, and there was no support for Peter Grant whatsoever. Just the winger James Blackburn having a bit of a wander around at Cottesloe on a Saturday afternoon. He's just enjoying himself.
Yeah, maybe he was looking at the kite surfers down the front in the Indian Ocean down at the beach here, but yeah, you had to feel sorry for the sensei Peter Grant there, stuck at the back on his calm line. But yeah, the Cott scrum getting a great result there as we're talking. Big Adam Fulgrabbe as well, driving through with Andrew Romano. They're having a good little fight back now.
Both teams feeling each other out in those first few scrums. Heath, there's a bit of chahooing going on, but now getting down to the serious business. 20 minutes into this first half. Yeah. Really low there. And it's just the Palmyra front row taking a knee. In the end, it was Frostick, the man.
White, front, white.
I'm just asking for a little bit more gap at this line out.
Step, please. Hold.
And they step immediately back in once O'Brien leaves the line. 38 out from the line. Huppertaz up the top, slaps it down. Cottesloe going backdoor Grant, then long ball over the top. Chance for Blackburn wide. Lines up his opposition, decides to come inside for Anapu, who strips it one-on-one, chest on chest, and surrenders down inside his 22. So they can start to wind from here. They don't want to leave it, the 22 so early, if they so choose to kick to clear here. Huppertaz out wide.
Blue out, blue out.
Slack-Smith apologies, and penalty coming straight off feet. A little too eager, Cottesloe over the top.
Yeah, we'll just have a look at here. Cottesloe player stuck in at the back there, not clearing the ruck. Referee Matt O'Brien had no hesitation but to penalise Cottesloe on that point. There were a bit of a mess at that breakdown certainly the entry side of things was a bit dubious, as well as the number 14 for Cottesloe, James Blackburn, after being stripped by Risa Napu's, went down injured, but seems to be after a little drink of water. The wing is okay. Tough, these guys. They get up really quickly and get on with things, don't they, Heath?
They bounce back very quickly. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of ground Jack McGregor tries to chew off here. Like 2 poor kicks down this right-hand touchline, but with the kicking straight into the teeth of the wind, it's a tough condition to get into.
I mean, that's just simply not good enough, is it? Is anybody else here with me?
Very conservative. Let's just call it conservative.
At what point do you lower your trajectory, work on it another week? You know you're coming here kicking into that breeze, or just hand the kicking duties off. If you're not backing yourself in at this level, certainly got to ask for more than that.
Great driving maul by Palmyra.
Spilling it off the back. Mahaki. Lucky to not get pinged there. Tobias Hoskins just diving straight off his feet, then rolled off the side. Being menaces at Cottesloe as always. Over the top from McDonald. It's going to bounce. Now they have the chance. Grant under pressure once again. Trying to go around the outside, stepping left, right, backwards, now finding some space forwards and finding a gap is Brad Avery. He's stumbling everywhere. He looks like a baby giraffe, but he's made it past halfway. Mahaki over the top gets blown off the ball. A little bit more up in tempo here, Cottesloe. Don't want to slow things down on this possession. Great work from the inside centre to get past the 40 now. Grant stands waiting, but not running onto the ball. Hoskins now straightens things up. Plenty of numbers out here on both sides. Forward pod right-hand side. Gio lines things up, has to stay in the field of play. Gets 2 team tight and low. Hoskins again will give out. Grant wider still for Toiti. Penalty to Palmyra. Was there a release there by the tackler? I didn't spot.
Yeah, probably good enough to warrant the penalty that time. Just Cottesloe a little bit flat in attack. They're a little bit too lateral here. It was Toiti. Wasn't a bad carry, but they just didn't get the numbers around and an inaccuracy at the breakdown and the tackle. It's probably good enough for a little release there. Certainly reward for effort there for Palmyra. Let's see if Jack McGregor can get this one right. He's kicking towards the wall. He should get a bit of distance here.
If this isn't past the 10, he's got to go.
Right on the 10, Nick. Just survived.
That's got to be shy. That's got to be shy. Touch judge will offer it for me here.
Yeah,
the touch, he'll go straight to the line. We know that.
He takes the line. Yeah, all right. We'll move it on to the next kick. You survive one more, young man.
Bit perplexed here why Mickey McDonald's adopting the box kick too with this breeze around. Like you really need to be able to play rugby out of your half. You don't want to be allowing Cottesloe to play inside your half. There's a nice line-out win from Pally.
McGregor to Cunningham. Bustles over the gain line. Good line-out win for Palmyra again. Looking ever so likely into the breeze. Was it lost forward or just a good dummy? Sold me, that's for sure. Out on the right-hand side, Palmyra build once again through Frostic. Trying to get underneath McDonald. Eden. He's got 3 in front of him, so comes back inside looking for space and runs into the skipper Hoskins. Over the top, chance for Cottesloe to turn over. They start piling through now, moving backwards through the line. Ball not out of the ruck.
Oh, it's one of my pet hates, this penalty. Can't hit the 9,
Yeah,
but no one's protecting the 9.
Ball's out here. I think number 2, Mike Watt, was a bit unlucky.
Oh, he doesn't take the ball off the ground there, actually.
I know, I think the tackle was okay, but it was the entry side of things Matt O'Brien wasn't happy about. Phoenix Hunt's come through the side of the ruck there to take the number 9 out, and I think that's where he was probably, his indiscretion came about.
Another great attacking opportunity here for Palmyra. Currently leading this game.
Back him in here. One of your favourites here, Heath, driving maul.
Oh, you'd love to see it, and Pally have been good so far today.
Straight off the deck goes down Tyrone Lord, trying to feed it backwards to further still Cottesloe, trying to shift him sideways so McDonald gets it loose for Manahira Eden. Manahira Eden, Risa Napu the whole time. Bungling myself over the line just like that ball lost forward.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Palmyra hold that one in for a little bit longer there, Heath. It wasn't a bad setup. It was good transference of ball to the back. Just a little bit impatient there, I think. Mickey McDonald probably a little bit too rushed getting that ball out. What do you reckon?
Yeah, transferred well. I think Cott did a great job of shearing off the front three of that Pally line out though, and that's what started taking them towards that 5, towards that sideline. They got in those tracks. I think they got a little bit scared, and once you lose the front of your maul, it's tough to really get it back. Probably a good time, close to a good time for Mick McDonald to get that out and give Reese and Arpu a crack at getting through that line.
Yeah, he nearly got through too, nearly got through.
It's a foreign sight seeing Reese and Arpu running in like that. He's getting over the line very well this afternoon.
Yeah, I've always thought he's a very, could have been a very talented inside centre, Reese and Arpu. Chose to pursue his ambitions at 9.
Strong scrum from both sides. Cottesloe just pivoting up on the left-hand side. Not really much they can do on officer. 9 just has to go and surrender and hope that his support's behind him. Hoskins to buy some time, get the half back in position. Offering nothing in terms of posture, and it's going to sit up here for Hunt to make a decision. Nicely over the gain line, the edging ever closer. Now in the pocket, and a wobbly old kick off the side of the boot, bobbling out into touch, Peter Grant. Just not really clean contact there.
Yeah, but Cottesloe breathed a sigh of relief, getting outside of their 22. Alleviate a little bit of that pressure that Palmyra was building there. It was a good little carry from Billy Sawalu. It's been a little bit quiet in the opening 20 minutes. I'd like to see him carry the football, maybe challenge it at the breakdown a little bit more.
Great jump up at 7. They can release quickly, nicely to the line. Lots of players in motion. Palmyra just really trying to step the pace of this game up every time they're on tack. McGregor got absolutely crunched behind the line. It was simultaneous with the ball leaving up to the 22 now. Good ball on the outside for Pugh, but tried to get around the defender. Cottesloe defenders off feet, has to roll off to the side. Ball was out, referee says play on, and here comes the turnover. Just trying to throw the ball around, goes back the other way. And we're going to go back to the original loss forward.
Oh, the Pally bench absolutely blowing up down his sideline. Obviously a lot of pressure coming through on Mickey McDonald when he's pulling that ball out, but he's got to understand that as soon as he clears that ball from the back of the ruck, it's all bets are off. So the longer he's taking and the more steps he takes.
Palmyra have barely got a man at the back of that ruck. They've barely got any length there. If they want to give protection to your half, may as well just send one in, get a little bit of length there.
Yeah, and Phoenix Hart's, he's been pretty, just loitering around. You can see that he's onside there, and it just took a while for Mickey McDonald to clear that ball. Touch and go whether or not Hunt was on or offside, but Mickey McDonald could probably do with a little bit more protection either side on the fringes of that ruck just to allow Phoenix Hunt a couple more bodies to combat.
Only Manahira Eden at the back, central field here. Kick to either corner and have a crack. Hoskins, ball's available, just gently hands it off to his halfback, no mistakes warranted. Jackson to the line. Flap forward ball. Calling for the penalty and getting rewarded, Palmyra once again.
Yeah, Cottesloe a little bit disorganised that time. They should have gone to Peter Grant. As soon as Greg Jackson set that ball up, they had a good platform to kick long into the right-hand corner. It was poor body position, and Pally just being able to put the numbers into the breakdown and get the turnover there. I didn't quite get a number who got the chocolates there, but certainly good breakdown skills from Pally, and they're putting a lot of pressure on the Cottesloe rucks at the moment, aren't they, Heath?
Yeah, and Cott just looking a little bit lost there, like just outside their 22. Looked to test that edge, but then, once they couldn't find any space down there, they should have been looking to exit. It looked like the forwards really were looking at that exit, and then they just got stuck in that carry, isolated, and Hendrik DeWet gets down over that ball.
Up at 7 again and forming them all. The captain, Dylan Cunningham, has the ball at the back for his side. Swimming around the side and called out of it was Romano. Still driving forward, Palmyra. They can just hold the ball in here. There's a great chance that they make it all the way. Peeling off to the right-hand side could be an option. Just trying to find a way through. Cunningham underneath. And the skipper might have just given it off at the last moment. Regardless, Palmyra get themselves another try, and they're just taking charge of this game in the first half.
Oh, it's what Heath Testman comes here for. These rolling mauls. It was a good structure. Took us through Heath.
No, it was beautiful to see. And they just stayed patient there, Pally. They didn't get right on top of the Cott team straight away, but they knew they were tight. They knew they were really, really structured well. And they just waited. Cott were fighting hard, and they lost about 3 or 4 players down that left-hand side of the maul. And as soon as they lost half their forwards, the Pally boys just struck through. Reece Apu, he came sweeping around the blind, which kept a few of the defenders off, left that option up in that little tight channel on the open side, and try time.
So Tui Mahaki, credited with the try after watching it on review, just managed to steal it off the captain, a couple metres out from the line, snuck himself underneath.
Yeah, it was a nice little last-ditch shear there that got him the chocolates over the try line. The big fella. Prop forwards love to do snaffle tries from their back rowers. So Mickey McDonald kicking with the breeze, just be pushing this ball from right to left. Not a bad little first up conversion from him. Oh, he snap hooked that. Bad miss. So 17 points to 5 on our Fortescue Premier Grade Match of the Day, brought to you on Stan Sport, bringing you the best of Perth Club Rugby here in 2022. Down here at Harvey Field this afternoon. Beautiful Perth afternoon here, probably mid 20 degrees, hardly a breath of breeze. If it is, it's favouring Cottesloe. Nice little crowd building up on top of the limestone wall.
To get us back underway again, Peter Grant. Letting it drop inside the 22 this time. And a nice hoof for territory back the other way. Palmyra just very composed at the moment. 2 good kicks, 2 good kick returns from Riara Bitter off kickoffs.
Yeah, it's nice easy footy when you can just take the catch and just plant it back up towards the halfway line. Cottesloe's got a bit of work to do in this half.
Nicely taken at the top by Hugh Hupper-Taz, going Grant with his first real attack of the line himself today.
Who's with him?
Hoskins with a sharp volley. Small overlap on this near side. Didn't survive the clean out. Cottesloe still in control of the ball. Romano. Hunt goes digging. Finds Grant on the right-hand side. Inside ball. Readable as always. Certainly able to get over the advantage line still, though. Now trying to kick on the outside. Tawiti. Outside for Jackson. Over the line. Fifi Titova.
Shoulder.
Could be a penalty advantage for a shoulder as well. Tobias Hoskins inside the 22. Cottesloe look likely to get a double here. Start to close this gap up. But they slow the play right down. Give Palmyra a chance to breathe.
What? No. No. What?
Chance is left. And that could almost be cynical. Luckily, it's just the first one of the half inside the 22 for Palmyra. Handbags and shoe. As always, a back tries to quick tap it and run out the side, but it'll be ignored. And O'Brien to take control now.
I reckon there was a Palmyra player pretty lucky not to get a yellow card there. Was very cynical, killing that ball off. Certainly Reece Apu never releasing that tackle. Just killed the ball off, and then Ned Slack-Smith just diving through from an offside position. So Tobias Hoskins is going to settle things down, take the 3 points. It's been a good first half from Palmyra, 17 points to 5 up on the scoreboard. Certainly have dominated, I would say, up front and certainly out wide in the early stage of this game. And to come in at half time in front, Coach Darren Reid would certainly be happy with his team's performance in that first half.
Well, I mean, if they've been kicking this well into the breeze, I'm going to really wonder how this Cottesloe outfit's going to get any territory in the second half. I still agree with the decision to take the points, but they're going to have to find something in their forwards, something in their patterns. It's going to be a big chat at half-time.
Yeah, but Cottesloe are used to playing down here at Harvey Field, and they're a good quality team. They like to play to their structure, and they've found a few little cracks in the Palmyra defence at times. You know, Jackson's gone through a couple of times. Giolewala's gone through a couple of times. So it wouldn't be surprised me if Ryan Westerway, the coach of Cottesloe, instructs his teams to maybe be a little bit more combative through the middle, and the results will come. as a nice easy kick for Gio Leo Tuala. The penalty takes the scoreboard 17 points to 8 on our Fortescue Premier Grade Match of the Day on Stan Sport.
McGregor back at halfway for our restart. Sits up just outside the 22. Grant didn't want to run into the wall that was coming at him, so gives it off to the skipper that's employed him. You can only get away with that once you're a real senior rugby player. Slowing it straight back down and looking over the top. Hunt. This one's floating. It's going to get tight. Allowed to bounce. Biddle has to chase and breaks the first tackle. Slips off the half of the second as well. Makes you wonder how he gets onto it, and then straight through the line. Another great kick through by Pugh. Just rolls into touch eventually.
That's the second time this afternoon Jackson Pugh's looked for a little chip and chase. Just a good box kick from Phoenix Hunt. Plenty of height on it, and just the back three from Pelly didn't want to know about it. There's a couple of times there where their communication just hasn't been spot on between Biddle and Eden. So they've just got to tidy that up. But certainly Jackson Pugh not having a bad game this afternoon, certainly mixing up his game.
Well, do you think he's been given the license to kick, or do you reckon he's just going about it?
No, I think he's just instinctive.
Off the top, Cottesloe looked to straighten things in the middle of the park. Chance of a turnover, but eventually surrendering underneath it. So Hunt goes back into the air. Biddle breaks the first, as he has done all afternoon so far. Offload on the inside. Straight through the middle. Referee says play on. He's happy to see this one play out, but now there's hands over the top. Romano just needs to keep leg driving forward. Second ruck is formed and ball lost now. All sorts happening over on the far side of the field at the moment. Palmyra maintain composure. They're just going to reset their opportunities. Good outside ball. Quick release from the pack. Now McGregor, a chance to release the backs. And Napu met by Jackson really well. Driven backwards behind the line. Takes all of them to secure ball. Pass not the greatest out the side. McGregor just lets it go and resets himself out left again. Backdoor from Pugh to McGregor. Cut out ball over the top for Biddle. Biddle's got a forward runner on the outside. Big drop off in pace. Now a good carry from Mahaki, who dished it on the last minute. Meters getting gained all the time here. Happy to move forward through Frostic, underneath the sticks. 15 out from the line. We're going to look to the right again. Cut out ball, short towards the line, brought down well by Grant. Happy to just keep moving this one forward. Probably in about the 10th phase now. It's through the line, Slack Smith. Quick ball, Anapu, dummies, gets wrapped up by Grant. Two good tackles by him in this set. Frostic again, taken in a 2-on-1. Jackson trying to steal the ball, but the knees hit the ground, had to release. Flat ball, forwards trying to get around it. Holding onto the ball the entire time. Manahira Eden doing really well. Outside again, forwards floating wide. Tremendous defensive pressure here by Cottesloe, and great courage to take on Tui Mahaki as he dives towards the line. Flat ball, inside, was looking for Cunningham, not quite there. Backdoor to no one, trying to find something on the short side. Scioli gives it off, 5 out from the line here. A great passage of rugby to lead us into half time. Tuiti drives them backwards and needs to roll. Short side 3 times now, that ball's gone left, and 3 times it's hit the deck, and eventually it's rolled over into touch. But how good's that for a passage of play?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Cottesloe defence held strong there. There was some good scrambling defence from Fivatavo, and also Leah Tuala came out of the line a few times to cut things off. It was terrific defence to wind out the half. So we go into half time, 17 points to 8 to Palmyra. Tries to Tui Mahaki, Ned Slack-Smith, and Rowita Biddle, who got a fantastic try in the opening minutes. The solitary conversion to Mickey McDonald. And in return, Brad Avery got himself a try and a penalty to Gia Leo Tuala. So shortly we'll go down to Heath Testament, try and get a chat with one of the players. As we go sideline, Heath Testament's down there with Jack McGregor, the number 10 from Palmyra today. You with us, Heath?
Yeah, we're here with Jack McGregor. It's blowing a little bit, not as hard as the wind here though. Tough first half into that wind.
Yeah, it was very tough. I mean, going in the break 17-8 up, so it's not a bad result. I reckon there's about 15 points that win, so I'm pretty happy with that start, and hopefully we can use it to our advantage.
Will you guys look to change your tactics this second half? Will you keep the ball in hand a little bit more, or just look to use that win?
I think we'll play down their corners. If Bashy's in the backfield, we'll try to target him a little bit. But no, we'll play a bit of field position here and then get the ball in hand and see if we can score some tries.
Yeah, no problems. Good luck for the second half.
Thank you very much, Heath. And just to find us off for the halftime break, we're going to leave you shortly just for a couple of messages. It's going to be Palmyra leading us into the second half. They've been fantastic this entire time. As you hear from Jack McGregor, 15 points the advantage he reckons with the win. They're about 15 points up now. Can they hold on? Can they progress further? And can they take on this grand final rematch by the horns? We'll join you all for the second half.
Hello and welcome back to Harvey Field here in Cottesloe. Let's go sideline with Heath Testament. He's got Coach Ryan Westaway from Cottesloe with him. Heath?
Yeah, thanks very much, Mick. And yeah, I'm here with Ryan Westaway. What was the message for the boys there?
Oh boy, just hold on to the ball. I think like 50-50 passes are killing us at the end. I think the defence at the end there, that last 5 minutes was really pleasing. They had all the pill and we didn't let them cross. So I think now we're working into that win. We've just got to hold the ball. They're playing with really good width. They're here to play. So yeah, I think if we can get the footy this half, we'll go all right.
Appreciate your time, Ryan. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Heath. So going into the second half here, Palmyra have a breeze at their backs. Cottesloe with all the work to do, down 17 points to 8 at the moment, the three-time premiers. Coach Ryan Westaway there with Heath. And Ryan Westaway has done a terrific job down here at Cottesloe over the last couple of seasons, come through the ranks and now in charge of this outfit. Palmyra, a young outfit this afternoon. They've done really well. They used Ned Slack-Smith through the middle with Cunningham and out wide. Jackson Pugh has been running a mark with chip and chases and all sorts of stuff happening there for him. And young Biddle has been very impressive as well out wide with a beautiful try in the first minute of this game. And he's had some good involvements as well. So should be an interesting second half, Nick. And we're about to get underway through referee Matt O'Brien, one of the more experienced, long-standing referees in the competition here. He's looking a little bit hot this afternoon. He's kept himself in reasonable shape though, the skinny man.
No, he's one of the fittest going around the traps. He's still probably got another 2.5 first-grade games in him all this afternoon. Someone will play, he'll ref it. Cottesloe to kick left to right across your screen to start this second half. Grand final rematch is back underway. Grant kicks long for McGregor, who will use the breeze immediately, and that is a much better looking kick than the first half. Taken just on the opposition 22 and getting a big head of steam up, returning the ball straight back and taken high. So putting Swaulu, putting his body on the line and getting rewarded for it. Taken quickly, tapped, taken down the short side. Big chance, just throwing it on the in, knocked backwards is the call from the referee. Play on, then turned over again. Grant, Hoskins straightens, brought down nicely. Flat ball deep, chance for Lituala. So into the breeze, quick tap was the first option from Cottesloe. And it's gained them more field position than you'd get off a kick, that's for sure. Tui straight through the middle, fighting strongly. Still able to get the ball out though, Cottesloe, Hapataz, and there's numbers on the right-hand side here. Hoskins goes to ground. If they can get quick ball here, they could have a dance. A little bit slower than they need. Henrik inside the 22. Short side again, showing, going inside Grant.
No, off them. Thank you.
Now the play gets slowed right back down. Forward runners are out on the right-hand side. Hunt was looking for something more. Eventually just gives it to what was available out left. Full grab.
White, leave it.
Nice carry. Swaulu again. Cottesloe maybe hoping for the penalty here, or just trying to show their coach so that they're not too excitable. Getting off the toe and just happy to play with some phases. Inside step. Showing good patience here, the Cottesloe outfit. Trying to go through Hunt, but gets driven to the ground. Forwards have to take over. Risky pass from the prop, but it finds the target perfectly. Over the top, Palmyra have a little look at it, but off feet now.
No release in there, White. Thank you.
Chance for flat ball from Grant here to switch inside. Fifi Titova over the line, not quite yet. Penalty advantage offside. Trying to hunt for the ball is Hunt. There's going to be an awkward turnover in the middle here. No, it's picked up straight through. And a second penalty advantage here, not rolling away against Jackson Pugh, just trying to kill the ball. And we'll have a little chat about it because Pugh made absolutely no effort there.
Good sustained pressure from Cottesloe. Obviously, Ryan Westover having a few words to his troops at half-time. It was excellent composure, just rumbling up through the forwards. Phoenix Hunt doing a terrific job just finding his ball runners there, just being very patient off the back of the rucks. Pally a few times there, just absolutely diving in off their feet, killing things off. And they just need to stay at their feet a little bit more, and Jackson Pugh very lucky not to get a yellow card there at the death, and that's the talking to that most referees are giving these days, Nick, which preludes a yellow card.
It was a full warning as well. Next one goes in the 22. Cynical or not, Matt O'Brien wants this to be a clean second half.
You having a shot, Tom?
So he's okay right up to that point there where Jackson Pugh needed to try and make some sort of effort. And they're going to take the points, so they're going to look to, every time they visit the 22 this afternoon, Cottle want to come away with some points here. Heath, what do you think about that tactic?
It's just too early. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's very smart when you're playing into that win, but after the referee, Matt O'Brien's just given them that warning that the next one down here is going to be going to the bin, you'd love to see Cott just chance their hand a little bit, put the pressure right on Pally, know that they need to stay well onside. They don't want to infringe around the ruck, so you've got a chance to really test them there. Can't fault them for taking the points, but I would have loved to see them have another crack. Rule 1
always prevails in the end, especially at a side like Cottesloe. 3 points taken and given. Closing up this gap. And now Cottesloe right back in this match with a full warning under their belt.
Yeah, so Pally's just got to adjust themselves a little bit.
Yeah, just body position.
They really are being beaten at the breakdown at the moment by Cottesloe. Okay. They've got to get some more bodies in now. They've got to stay on their feet. And Cottesloe have just got to show that sort of composure and patience that they just showed them, be able to build the phases, better trust in their bodies to get over ball as they go long here off the kickoff.
Yeah, just running behind it, Fifi Titovo. Brought down 20 from his own line. Shaping to box is Phoenix Hunt again. This one's just going to hang in bounds. Eden sizing up the opposition, knew he was better than the hooker and takes it back inside the 22. Wasn't held, managed to get an extra metre out of it. Now flat ball, Cunningham tips off on the outside, half through the line, going to be pulled down 5 short of the line, but now Palmyra dangerous again. Through the great tarry of Tyrone Law, and they've got a penalty advantage as well. Anapu, flat ball out of the line. Nothing cynical about the interception attempt out there. Some may differ, but I think Blackburn did well. So we just come back for the original penalty.
Yeah, we'll go back for the penalty from that carry from Tyrone Law, where the Cottesloe player was told to get his hands out of it. It persisted there. He didn't get a clean go at it, so Matt O'Brien had no choice but to award the penalty to Palmyra there. So Pally bounces back straight away. It was a terrific kickoff from Jack McGregor there, with nice and deep. If I was Fafita Tova, I probably would have chanced my hand. I'd even let that one go and see if it goes all the way dead next time, but because it will run here at Cottesloe down that end. So Pally that time going to get the turnover and build the pressure. And Tyrone Lord, good to see him getting involved. Probably a little bit quiet on his standards in the first half, but certainly him and Cunningham have got big roles to play in this if Pally's got any chance of knocking over the premiers.
It's just handy when 4 through 8 of your entire forward pack are all happy to run the ball, everyone wanting to get involved. So maybe now Tyrone Lord, it's time to empty his tank in the second half. And bringing the lead back out to where it was at the halftime break. Points taken and given back the opposite way. It's 11-20.
Had one change out there this afternoon for the Cottesloe team. Dennis Tawiti has been replaced at half-time with Thomas Hume. He's on there in jersey number 22. Dennis Tawiti's come across from playing a bit of basketball. He's been involved with New Zealand Perth, trying his hand at rugby as a late 20-year-old. So good to see a bit of talent transition happening.
I didn't mind him in the first half. Good support run, a little bit of ball on. Penalty straight away from the kickoff. Hands past the ball before coming onto it. Trying to go for the turnover and just getting a little bit too green.
Yeah, it was a nice take from Ned Slack-Smith out there too, under pressure. And that time, Michael Walker, the Cottesloe hooker, just losing his feet, getting his hand past the ball, and just not accurate enough at the breakdown and just letting the pressure off Palmyra. And they get a nice easy penalty which takes play deep into the Cottesloe half. So we look for the driving ball again here, Heath. Been a good weapon for him this afternoon.
Yeah, it has been, but I'm, as much as I hate to say it, I'd love to see them have a crack off the back of this. Jackson Pugh winning good ball. Here we go.
Nicely for a Napu, shows on the outside and cracks straight through the line. Good ball, heading towards the sticks was Fraser Jones, no way through. Numbers out the left, they're screaming forward. And Greg Jackson, he was retreating. He had no play, he had no way to get out of that ball, but he's going to be sent to the bin. He's done absolutely nothing wrong but be too slow to get back.
Well, that can be punishable just in itself, being slow to get back in position.
Great break though.
Someone's hit him on the chest here. It was a nice little play. Anapu there. It was good backup from Fraser Jones and was good recycled possession. And at this point, Cottesloe were in trouble. They were all offside, 6s and 7s. And Greg Jackson just getting in the way of the ball, which Matt O'Brien, no choice but to put him in the bin. So Cottesloe's gone for the sideline here. And this time we should see a driving maul. Yeah, you're right, Heath. It was good to see them come off the top there, that last play. Use the likes of Nanapu.
And Jackson Pugh's been winning some great ball for them as well. They go down the front to Duet. Good setup here. They're looking strong.
3 out.
Now shifting right on the inside, Palmyra. Another great setup. The extra support starts to roll in now. This one's getting driven forward. Just need to get free up on that right-hand side to get over the line. And this one will just be held up. Ooh.
Yeah, Hugh Huppets that time killing it off. Yeah, I think just Mahaki looking for his double for this afternoon. Just got a little bit anxious there and just splintered a little bit through the middle. It was good defence. You can see Mahaki joining the maul here. There's probably a couple of guys offside there earlier, which Matt O'Brien managed. But then Cottesloe rallied and were able to defend and collapse that maul and kill it off there, Heath. Did you get a good look at it?
Yeah, and exactly what you said there. Mahaki's got the ball under his hand, but you've got a big motor like that, a big diesel engine. You want him generating that power through the middle of that maul. It's all nice that he keeps it under his arm and he wants to score those points, but we want those guys at the coalface getting it moving forward. We don't want them sliding to the back.
Scrum down for Cottesloe, 5 out from their line. Going to have to crash this one up once or twice before clearing to get any real advantage. Risk comes with that. Especially when you've got a Napu short running straight at you to dislodge that ball. We already saw a Napu take a one-on-one strip chest on in this game. Holding the feet of the ball, Hunt. He's not happy with something. Pumps twice, then in. Ball available, but now Palmyra come back over the top. Can they get the ball free? Do so. Only just Jackson. Takes it straight up to McGregor. Net gain of 1. Trying to find the next runner. Flat ball out wide left. They're trying to create their own luck out here again. Having a couple of spins through. Danger of there, Anapu spins him back in the tackle. They're noticing a little bit of a slip in defense, and Palmyra blows straight over the top, forcing them to go a little bit desperate. And there's a bit of handbag still and a bit of carry on.
Oh, a little feisty Reece Anapu getting in amongst it there. A couple of nice hits and really creating havoc at the breakdown, getting his team the penalty. And that's why I do love him as a 12, because he is prepared to do the tough stuff and he is prepared to put the hits on. Cottesloe that time just a little bit predictable in attack. Avery getting slammed, and then Reece quick to his feet and create the havoc at the breakdown. Tobias Hoskins losing his feet. Bit of a chat to the assistant referee just around the handbags. Who threw what handbag to who?
No, just seeing if there was any substance to the chat of Anapu telling his mates about his trip to the zoo last week. Nothing coming of it.
So Pally go to the sideline again. They're going to look to this driving more. What can they learn from last time, Heath?
Yeah, well, it's tough to change your setup mid-game. But you'd just love to see Tuhoi out there up the front, generating that power to get them through. Big, huge, strong body like that. Oh, and they overthrow down the back.
Overthrow, lost backwards both ways. Forwards off, Palmyra first. So relief of pressure. Cottesloe managing to hold on for the moment. But in front of this game, not by too much, only the 9-point margin, and you've got a yellow card in there. It's tempting to keep going for these tries, but eventually might just want to start boring Cottesloe out this, take the points and then kick it back to them after the kickoff.
That's it. You just got to control the game from here on in. Palmyra, they've got a couple of good boots in their lineup. You've got McDonald, McGregor, Anapu could potentially slot back in there at 9 later in the game.
Seen Biddle kick today.
Yep. They've got a bit of attacking power out wide. I'd just be trying to play as much rugby as possible down in this Cottesloe half.
Really hunting for the early shove is Hunt. He's asked 3 times now.
Yeah, if I was Pally here, I'd just sit back and relax.
No need to put pressure on this scrum. You're going to get ball back 30 out from the line. If they choose to kick, which I think they're pretty sick of attacking from inside their 22, so they might just.
Have to be careful here though. That last scrum, Cott, they dug in pretty tight and they looked to come forward later as Pally went round the corner. So Pally don't want to switch off too much here. Gives Cott that little easy out, lets that little bit of pressure off while they're under the pump here.
Grant set directly behind the scrum to receive. Up on the right-hand side immediately. Turnover ball 1. Just a great hook from Palmyra, and now they're going to be desperate, caught wide. Ball needs to get released though. It's stuck in there. Eventually now getting ripped out. McGregor cut out, pass short, cut out again, and Biddle will walk it over in the corner. A great turnover scrum win by Palmyra. Must have just been the luck of the hook underneath by Vadiwala, and then as soon as that ball came out, Cottesloe probably had 15 seconds to adjust their line there and didn't want to come out wide, giving Biddle a chance right in the corner. And the lead keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, it was a good tight head from Palmyra. They're chuffed about that, the front rowers from the palm trees. Going to get that one. It was just a matter of the numbers game then with a man in the bin for Cottesloe on the backs. They should have always had the overlap, and it was just good vision to be able to get the ball wide and get the ball wide quickly. And Biddle gets his double for the afternoon. And Pally extend their lead out to 25 points to 11 with a kick to come. Big testament, terrific scrum from Palmyra.
Yeah, and the reaction from Coach Ryan Westerwave. Cod is immediate as well. He's wheeling out his big tight head. Guys are ready, getting ready for him to finish off this half.
Yeah, the big unit is looking to make a big impact there at scrum time around the set piece. Create a bit of havoc around the edges of the rucks. Throw that big frame of his around, and I think it'd be Andrew Romano would be coming to the sideline, the young man from Queensland. He's been part of the Western Force setup this year in the academy. Hasn't had a bad game today. Would like to see him maybe do a little bit more of the tight stuff at breakdown and carry a little bit close to the ruck, but certainly set piece wise he's very adequate.
McDonald here to convert. And beautifully struck over the top, adding the extra 2.
Yeah, nice little kick from Mickey McDonald there. He's fancying himself as a goal kicker these days. He's taken over the duties from Jack McGregor, who had some early misdemeanours. And Mickey's been pretty accurate with the boot since then.
If they took all the points on offer this afternoon, Palmyra could be pretty much putting this one beyond doubt already.
Yes, I've got another 4.
So the lead's extended 27 points to 11 in favour of Palmyra now. A lot of work for Cottesloe to do. This man, Peter Grant, the former Springbok, what can he pull out of his hat?
Oh, come off blue.
Really?
Off blue, lost forward somehow. Referee happy to play on. Setting in the pocket, McGregor.
Hold here, stay.
Releasing this one long. Taken at the back. Swahulu beats the first. Loves it when he gets a bit of space out here. Driven backwards though after the offload. Cottesloe need to keep building. Here is Reedy now. Good ball out on the left. Driven backwards, Pugh out of the line. Sends Cott back another 2 metres. Short side, little dart. Bounce past Hoskins. Shows. Secures. Till he tries to go over the top. Great line speed here from Palmyra though. Cottesloe just trying to play some flat ball, gain 1 or 2 metres of tackle. It's proving very difficult. Palmyra's fitness is all there. Reedy again. Cunningham gets on ball, tries to strip. Backdoor, now Grant can throw it out wide. Fifi Titovo. Lots of pressure on this Cottesloe attack. They're really going to start hurting soon. Grant, wise ahead prevails, chips over the top. It's well weighted as well. Chance to get up aerial. Eden just takes it sweetly and is held up in. He's got a knee now. Chance for Risa Napu. It's a foot race down into the corner. Wasn't going to get there on this occasion, and now trying to outstep him is Brad Avery. Gets around the first couple, eventually caught up by Eden. Eden just dabbles it down. Flat ball out for Hoskins. Hoskins spins around. They're 22 out from their own line here, Cottesloe. They've got about 8 phases in hand, and they've gone only backwards. Cunningham just slips high on the player falling to ground. Play on the call. Hoskins here. Mahaki tries to get ball over the top. Now we're going to go aerial again through Hunt. Going to get held up in the win. A test here for Biddle. Takes it nicely. Nowhere to go. Chase was good. A chance to counter ruck. Cottesloe don't want a piece of it though. That was probably the best chance they're going to get, with no support coming around the back from Palmyra, and this opens up the door the other way. Palmyra moving forward through Ollie Frostic, who's been fantastic this afternoon. Kais already appealing for something and gets it, not releasing the ball.
Yeah, it was that time Gio Leo Tuala got the turnover for his team, and that was a long time coming for Cottesloe that time. But geez, there's some sting in this Palmyra defence at the moment. Their line speed, they've gone up a gear, and they've been very accurate with their hits and being very combative and very physical with this Cottesloe team.
Now to go to the line, Grant.
As Greg Jackson comes sideline, he's back on from his 10 minutes of misdemeanour. That 10 minutes flew by. Geez, I was enjoying watching that tackle. And your man, Frostic at the moment, Heath, how much do you love him?
Oh, he's just flying around the park, isn't he? He's getting his hands on the ball every opportunity.
Not straight there.
Not straight.
Another sub for Palmyra as well. Tui Mahaki has come off in the case of Antonio Corso. Replacement up front.
So important there, isn't it, Heath? You've got to be accurate when you finally get that relieving penalty just to do the simple things well is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, Cottesloe really needed that. They've just played a lot of phases of rugby and haven't really put Palmyra under too much pressure. They get that chance, like you said, with Lea Tuala getting the turnover, winning the penalty, and then we give the Pally boys back the ball straight away. It's heartbreaking.
There's about a 100-kilo swing on this near side of the scrum. Both props coming off. Now Kaitsariti versus Corso. Can Corso hold his own against the big man? Ball gets in now, and immediately Cottesloe with that extra shove. They've gained some weight and they've gained some punch, but it doesn't matter because Risa Napu is through the line again. His left feet beats it over in the dust. Absolutely wrong-footed him. And Palmyra are charging to a victory here this afternoon. Some genius work by Anapu through the line once again.
Oh, I've always said it about Risa Napu. He is a terrific centre. He was wasting his time playing at 9, in my opinion, and that's the reason why. Just be able to hit good lines and just be able the good cheek of him to be able to square up that blind winger and then just pin his ears back for the try line. Probably a little bit cheeky there towards the end, giving the poor Fafita Tavavo a little bit of lip there at the end, as you can see on the replay. But he's got plenty of character, Risa Napu. He's a good competitor, and what a great line he ran that time, Heath.
Oh, you can take the 9 out of the. You can take the 9 off the boy, but you can't take the 9 out of the boy. He's always going to be cheeky. He's always going to be a little bit lippy, but he's abrasive, and he's been playing brilliantly this afternoon. Everything he's touched has turned to gold so far, Risa Napu.
Yeah, and I wouldn't predicted this scoreline at the start of the afternoon. Heath, 32 points to 11 now in front of Palmyra with 20 minutes to go, and it's all one way. And Cottesloe got a lot of work to do. They're a different outfit than they have been for the last couple of years, but Palmyra's gone up a gear.
Yeah, Palmyra young as always, but they just keep feeding in these kids into the club. And they seem to gobble up opportunity like no ends. McDonald here to convert once again. Similar position to the last. Just inside duck hook again. Score's going to remain 11-32. And Palmyra very, very content in the position they're in at the moment. And just quickly, Mitch, do you think Anapu, he's had a crack at the higher level in the 9 jersey. Can he replace a Godwin or something in a couple of years at a higher level?
Oh, I think we'll see Reece apply his trade overseas over the coming years. He's already had a test cap with Samoa, and I think the Europe or Japan will be calling young Reece, and he's probably gone down that number 9 pathway now. But it's terrific for Palmyra to be able to have a guy like him who can transition into that 12 jumper so easily and be so effective.
Vadioala receives the kickoff. Goes deep for McGregor. And instead of bombing, wants to put this one into space. It's a great kick. Just comes juggled off forward. Almost a great opportunity there for Fraser Jones. But now the counter-attack comes really strong from Brad Avery. If there was ever a moment for Cottesloe, you'd have to start thinking it's right about now. Jackson, freshly back onto the field. Wants to get back involved in this game and keeps pumping him off the right foot. Gets them just shy of the 22. Calling for it out on the right-hand side is the leftovers from Cottesloe, but it goes left. Hoskins to the line now. Anapu penalty advantage just offside from him. Oh, a knock on. Oh, yeah, sorry, knock on at the tackle. I thought they were a mile offside, and they were.
Yeah, good footwork by Jackson there that time. Bounced off a few would-be defenders and was able to pinball his way through, get past over the advantage line. Just that Cottesloe just lacking that extra ball runner at the moment to really take advantage of when they are getting behind Palmyra. I wanted to criticise Tobias Hoskins, the skipper of Cottesloe, too much, but he just hasn't got that spring in his step this year that he's had previous years. Might be getting a bit long in the tooth, that body getting a little bit sorer.
Well, I just don't think we can expect 25 carries a game or 25 carries a half even, he'd probably tell you.
Yeah.
You need someone else to support him out there in that loose forward ranks, as we just spoke about 10 minutes ago. Everyone from Palmyra, they want to run. They want to have a chance at the line. Hoskins gets it from a tip over the top of the back. Cottesloe just need to focus on positioning here. They're all a bit of a muddle first up, but now they start to lower the bodies and start to drive forward. Need to just maintain contact at the back here. Reedy doing absolutely nothing now. He rejoins at the bottom, and they can drive forward again. Just short of the line, collapse small.
Yeah, that's a deliberately collapsed there. That was all Cottesloe, and Palmyra were at 6s and 7s. They made an absolute meal of it. It was good work by Tobias Hoskins. and then just getting that structure together. But you're right, that's where they need the Sawalus and the Reedies and these guys, just to give them a good platform. Heath, to be able to get that momentum. You can see on the replay there, Kaiser Reedy just touching the paint, they call that.
I'm helping.
He's a big frame.
Not doing anything.
He's certainly a big frame. I'm just thinking Ryan Westerway as a coach, Heath, you know, it must have been a difficult decision for him to put Kaiser Reedy on the bench and bring him in this late in the game, whereas if you start with him, you can actually really lay a good platform using Reedy and maybe bring Romano on later in the game. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, and that's the balance, isn't it? You know that you're going to get out of the blocks and have that good, strong set piece early on, or does he want it to finish off the game? I'm guessing Ryan Westway was really hoping to be a little bit closer when he was bringing Kaiser Reedy on, and not to have to bring him on under such occasion as being under such a huge amount of pressure from that Palmyra pack, and resort to essentially just pushing the red button and needing to release him out there because he needs him out there, as opposed to being able to release him out there when he wants him out there.
Scrum down, fire from the line. Cottesloe, their only enemy right now is the clock. Forget about the other 15 men in front of them. Nicely at the back. Hoskins tipping, trying to find Grant, who takes it to the line. Hoskins again, multiple carries from the man himself. How many more can he do in this second half? Who's going to help him? Flat ball across the face. Love to see that. Just couldn't get the second pass away. Penalty coming again, and one's going to go here for Palmyra. There's just a sniff here. Fulgrave did really well. And who's it going to?
It might be Liam Gourlay, who's only just gone on for Tyrone Law.
Offside.
The fresh prop, Antonio Corso, though.
It's Antonio Corso, yep.
So, a big loss for them.
I think we know what Cotter are going to do right here from this penalty, though. Lost a prop quickly. Kaiser Reedy, he's got that sniff under his nostrils. He's sniffing that try line. He wants 5 here.
Give me another prop. He's asking for one.
Is there no one else?
Well, of course they got to have props. So big two Mahaki's got to go back on, and they've got to bring it.
Yeah, so an interesting part of the rules here. In order for Tui Mahaki to go on, another player must come off the field, making it 13 on 15.
They'll work it out.
Palmyra foxed away from that as an option. Mahaki goes back to the bench.
This is going to have a general tactical discussion.
There's a lead, but they don't want to risk it that much.
Is the time on or off?
Let's have a small break in play while it is discussed.
Coach John O'Cotty down here is fuming as well. He's making sure that there's going to be no chance that the Tuho Mahaki can go back on without making sure that the 2 players from Pally end up coming off the field.
Trying to work out the rules. If they do go uncontested, they'll have to drop another player. So not only will they have a man in the bin, they'll have to go to 13 men if they go uncontested.
There's no way really out of this situation here for Palmyra.
I think they're playing a little bit ducks and drakes out, which is really disappointing because they're well in control of this game. There's 14 minutes to go.
Let's go.
If they've lost the loose head, then they put the loose head on that he replaced. So.
Let's go.
There you go. They're going to go uncontested, so they're going to go to 13 men.
Calling another one off now. So now there's a little bit of something to play for here, Mitch. This is going to test this Palmyra defence for the rest of the afternoon.
And once they've gone, that's it. So for the next 10 minutes, they're going to be playing with 13 men. Here we go.
Uncontested, guys. Stay on, please.
Forwards coach Chris Heiberg down here. He'd be loving it. Hey, Keith Testament.
Oh, this is exciting stuff, hey? Adding to the drama of this afternoon.
All right, so they're sorted out. So this will be a 6-man scrum. And I think Liam Gourlay, the man who's only just gone on for Tyrone Law, he'll come off. So he'll spend 10 minutes on the sideline as well, along with Antonio Corso, who's got the yellow card. He was a bit unlucky.
Out the back now, in midfield, Jackson is the one that tries to go forward. As always, Anapu, when gets chest on, tries to strip the ball immediately. Hoskins round the outside, couldn't quite get forward enough to be threatening of the line. But Cottesloe now marching forward. It's just a numbers game here. One's got to be a certainty. It's about how many can they go from there. Short on the left-hand side and over the line. Cottesloe have got one. And is this the start of something a little bit bigger this afternoon?
Yeah, they just rumbled around the corner that time, and it was Hugh Huppatz, who's worked hard all afternoon. He's had some good carries. He's always got a good engine. As you see the replay here, they were just building the phases, trying to get the extra numbers against 13 men. And eventually the defence just ended up folding. Phoenix Hunt's done a good job this afternoon. He's always been a busy player around the fringes and just looking for runners there. And finally he found the number 4, Hugh Huppatz, who's gone on out wide. And then Cottesloe are not out of the game yet. There's still 14 minutes to go in this game, 10 of which Palmyra will be playing with 13 men. So a couple of back-to-back tries here, Heath, and all of a sudden the game's turned on its head.
Yeah, and really smart, composed play there from the Cot guys. Like, they didn't look to try and throw it really wide. They didn't look to score straight away. They know that it is just a sheer numbers game. So if they, as long as they grind, they keep going around that same way, they're going to end up beating the Pally boys around the corner, and they're going to outnumber them eventually. Be really interesting here to see what they do out of this kickoff. Will they just look to put it back up into the other half, put the pressure on Pally, make them play a little bit with the ball? Will they look to keep the ball in hand like Coach Ryan Westaway said to us at half-time?
Yeah, it's going to be so important that Cottesloe just get back down that Palmyra end of the field now. It's only a matter of sort of 13 minutes or so to go in this second half. Deficit of 16 points. They're going to have to score 3 tries to pull it out of the fire. Pally's just taking their time coming back to halfway.
All the seconds are going to count here as the afternoon sun starts to make these shadows on the near side bigger. McGregor looks to go deep in the 22, covered in nicely, and Grant says field position is going to be the play here, boys. We're not going to let them just not commit to rucks. McGregor immediately reapplying the pressure. Lines up for a 50-22, doesn't quite get out, and that's touched over into the sideline, but a net gain there for Palmyra.
Yeah, Brad Avery just a little bit out of position there and just took his time with delivering the kick, and that's not where they want to be. Even though Cottesloe's got the line-out throw here, it's not the part of the field they want to be at this point in time against 13 blokes. There's another change for Palmyra's out there. Young Tiernan Neville is on the field. He's gone on at fullback for Manahara Eden.
Ball available here for Palmyra inside the 22 after a cheeky little turnover at the top. Flat ball for the young man, gets it on the outside for Biddle, who's already got a double, gets driven towards the ground. Palmyra just need to make phases happen here. As long as they can stay up at this 22 line, I'm sure they'll be happy. Cunningham, safe carry. Hoskins took him low, sweeping around to come back to the short side with Short, who beats on the inside one to ground now. Flat ball for the skipper again, who just tips it off on the outside, and it's gone forward because it was unnecessary.
Yeah, just Jackson Pugh just not getting his depth right there and just getting the timing wrong. I like the way Palmyra is still trying to build pressure. They're still looking to go to the sidelines to try play a bit with a bit of width. As we've got time off as a man down, so the gentleman out there will have a well-earned drink. And I'm sure Pally will be welcoming that just to slow this game down now, Heath, and just be able to close this one out and take the 5 points this afternoon. They'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, it was a great little set of phases there from Pally. They didn't look to throw wide. They didn't look just to play narrow. They just looked to stay composed and just grind away. They know that the clock is on their side. Even though they're short, they keep the ball in hand for as long as they can. It goes a long way towards building that little bit more scoreboard pressure on Cot. Cot are the ones that are chasing. They're the ones that the clock's fighting against. So Pally in control here still, even with a couple men down.
Ruben Steenkamp's just gone on the field. Jersey number 24 for Palmyra. He's gone on for Rick DeVette.
So they've got plenty of subs, just not enough props. Palmyra's got it all. Let's put them in a tricky position. Grant. Just doubling it over, allowing it to bounce 3 or 4 times is Neville. Greatly stolen at the back of the ruck there, but then lost forward off Cott. Referee
it's come off his head, come off the head.
Come away with an advantage. Reedy looks to the outside, then remembers what he's there for, so straightens up. Big counter ruck, slows things down, but I wouldn't be committing too many to the rucks. 2 men down, causes a little bit of pressure, and Cottesloe throw it away.
Sawalalu that time just drifted away from Peter Grant. Like, you got to be better than that as a forward. You got to be hitting good straight lines. He's been pretty average this afternoon, unfortunately, the number 7 for Cott. He hasn't been effective at the breakdown and certainly hasn't carried the football with any great effect. And Peter Grant would be a little bit disappointed in his team's performance this afternoon. They probably haven't given him as many options off phase as he would have liked. And, you know, when you're playing against 13 men, you should be easily able to capitalise on that and be able to pick plenty of holes. But they haven't been able to put things together this afternoon.
Shoulders on, flank.
Oh, a little hand in the scrum then.
Shoulders on.
It's rugby league styles here. Anything as long as the ball gets to the back. McGregor gets it off a double wrap. Now short, brings it up to halfway. Backwards through the hands.
Play on.
And ends up with Vatuala. Now over the top, boxing smartly, bouncing inside the 22 and safely out.
50-22, 50-22. That'll be a Palmyra throw. Brad Avery again out of position there. He should be protecting that corner, or his left-hand corner, the right-hand corner for Pally.
You'd think this is Palmyra's home ground. They know exactly where to kick the ball, apparently.
It was just a nice little dip over the top there, and it just ran into the wall.
They even added a new section to the limestone wall to remind the own Cottesloe players where to kick it to. Remember the new spot of limestone. They still can't remember. Up at the front, trying to find the ball, just knocked backwards loosely. McGregor in the middle for a Napu. Still so strong. Digging at the bottom here. McDonald. Good dish out on the side. Palmyra will do well not to overcommit to here. Not to give it away, just keep this clock ticking. McDonald spins backwards, has to go to the right. McGregor floating ball over the top. It's probably forward out of the hands and will be called back.
Yeah, wasn't a great attempt to catch that ball. Blackburn, he probably had more chance of catching it than the Palmyra player did. But yeah, McGregor didn't need to throw that ball right there. Heath, he could have just kept it tight and just ground it down.
Yeah, you would have loved to see that. Tiana Neville out there on the wing. He was screaming for it. But it really wasn't on, was it?
Nah.
Every single factor of this game says keep it in hand. Let's just work towards the line. If we come up with something on the inside, we'll take it. But there's no need to be throwing quad skips against the wind.
There's a few contenders out there for our man alcohol think again man of the match this afternoon. Heath Tessman, who's made your shortlist?
Oh, there's a few guys on it. Michael McDonald's been great, especially with kicking with the boot as well. He's had a good afternoon. Ollie Frostick, you know, he's one of my favourites. He's been immense out there, both at scrum time and around the park. As well as it's another Pally guy because they've been dominant so far, but Reese Apu as well. He's got to be the short favourite so far.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I reckon we'll narrow those two down to probably between Ollie Frostick and Reese Apu for mine. We might try and grab one of them at the conclusion of the game to have a chat to if Heath Tessman's quick enough to catch Ollie Frostick out there or Reese.
Contested scrum once again. Should be a penalty. No aid at the scrum. Trying to find an extra back in the line. Trying to keep himself alive was Lituala. Now Grant, long ball. On the outside, Jackson gives a late pass. Blackburn just held up outside the 22. They need to find field position quickly here. But the line speed just so strong still from this Palmyra defence. And they've won a penalty for it.
Oh, wouldn't that be pumped? Wouldn't that get your tails up? 13 men out there and you're getting turnover penalties in the midfield. Cott have just run out of petrol. They are out on their feet and they've got limited options. Now Pally will just take the points here, settle things down. 5 minutes to go in our Premier Grade match of the day here. It's been a lovely afternoon down at Harvey Field, and Palmyra have really stepped up and shown that they could be genuine premiership contenders this afternoon.
Points taken. Just trying to wind this clock down, and yellow card returning, so back to a full complement. 15 versus 15.
Oh, that's just cream on top, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're going to look to extend this lead out, 35 points to 16. That'll put a 19-point deficit as Reese Anapu comes to the sideline. He's had a terrific afternoon. He's had a really strong game. Scored a really nice try in the 25th minute in the second half. He's been solid in D and prepared to carry and do the hard stuff up front for his team this afternoon. He's had a very strong game. Coming off early, might have to rule him out of the alcohol. Think again, man of the match, Heath, unless you can go grab him straight after the game. Unless your man Ollie Frostick. I'd love to have a chat to Ollie Frostick, see what his thoughts are.
Yeah, well, with my turn of pace, Mitch, I think it'll just be whoever's closest.
That's all it takes to win the alcohol. Think again's man of the match right here, live on Stan Sport.
I think we can all agree it'll be a Palmyra player.
Over the sticks it goes. 3 more added, 35 points now for Palmyra down here at the home at Cock. They're certainly looking sharp. And I'd be worried if I was part of the back-to-back-to-back squad. The quad might not be on if they're going to play like this all season. Going to need to find something else here. Grant to restart us up again. Nicely jumping in the air. Pugh does well. Sorry, Slacksmith out there. Good carry up centre ground from Gooley. Neville, short, ripped and stolen. Cottesloe now with front foot ball. Mess of a ruck. Referee just wanting that ball to come out. Taz tipped it off sideways. Now Grant for Hoskins, just need to use their numbers here. Straightening through the line, Brad Avery. Hasn't he had a couple of good runs in the second half? And a consolation try late here. Brad Avery gets rewarded for some of his efforts this afternoon.
Yeah, that's his second for this afternoon. He got one earlier in the 5th minute of the first half, and now just hit the line nicely, straightened up. That's what we've been looking for all afternoon, Cottesloe. Someone to straighten up the attack. And it was just a nice little fade off his left foot, and was able to finish off really well to get his second try of the afternoon. The young man at fullback, he's been out of position a couple of times with the kicks, but certainly has got a lot to offer in attack. He's got good feet, good turn of speed, and he'll get better and better as he matures and he's part of this Cottesloe outfit. As might do my eyes to see me, but is Soalo lining up for this kick? Heath Testman, I'm not sure about this.
I'm going to hold any comment until I see it come off the boot.
Better go over.
I like the technique.
Oh,
Beautiful.
oh, dare I say it's probably the best thing he's done all afternoon. Is that too critical?
It was never in doubt, that kick.
At least he's enjoying his rugby. He's got a big smile on his face as he comes back to join his teammates, knocking over the 2 points. It's great that everyone's enjoying their rugby down here this afternoon. The Cottesloe supporters up on the hill will be a little bit disappointed with their boys losing a home game, especially after losing to West the other week. It's their second loss at home, which is really unusual for the Cottesloe collective.
McGregor to a familiar position. Hoskins swallows it up. It's held off the ground. Tackle called now. And no clear release. Penalty Cottesloe.
Tap and go, tap and go.
They do just that. Fire it out on the left-hand side. Chance for Cottesloe to break the line once again, but some desperation ankles work holds them just at their own 40. Hard for Reedy. Bumps one off. Short side, Jackson floating around there. Good carry for Tobias Hoskins once again. Grant steps inside and gets taken light and gone past the 90. Referee hasn't seen it, and we're going to go over to the sideline to have a look at this, because that is beyond the 90 and unsafely put down. There could be a little bit of trouble late here for Palmyra.
Yeah, we're just losing the vision just quietly there. Just missed a little tip tackle from Mitch Short. He was shot out of the line here. And you can see him just absolutely nail Peter Grant, and he went through with it and certainly lifted him past the horizontal and was without the football. So I don't think referee Matt O'Brien will have much choice here.
No contact with head, driving.
Maybe at this minimum a yellow card.
Recommendation sounds like yellow to me. Yellow card, what number white? 13 white, please.
Yep, yellow card for Mitch Short.
I think he's lucky with a yellow there.
He's extremely lucky to just get a yellow card there.
I mean, if we look at the flow chart, can't bring it up on screen for you, but if we look at the flow chart for yellow and red cards on dangerous contact now, sure will be a very happy man to be playing rugby next week.
There's no mitigating factors there.
Absolutely nothing. Senior citizen doesn't help as well. Attacking the old. Grant asking which way's the sideline after being dumped on his head, being told to kick it out.
Best case scenario here for Cottesloe now is to get this late try and get a bonus point out of this game. They'll be happy to take the 1 point. Get something for their efforts out of the afternoon if they can.
Just past halfway. Must be one of the last rolls of the dice here for Cottesloe. Nobody wants it, so it's taken at the back and it's deemed not straight. Referee Matt O'Brien calls a close to this game. Palmyra all afternoon have been fantastic, and they're going to come away with the points here this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a terrific second half there from Palmyra that ended up with 5 tries across the afternoon. A double to Rowita Biddle. Reesa Napu, a terrific try for him. Manahera Eden also got over the chalk this afternoon. Ned Sack-Smith got a good try. Ollie Frostick had a terrific game this afternoon. Tuho Mahaki picked up a 5-pointer for him this afternoon. And Mickey McDonald, 2 conversions and 2 penalties to make up the 35 points. For Cottesloe, Brad Avery got a double and Hugh Huppets got a nice try late in the second half. And Sawalu got his conversion and Gioleo Tuala got his 2 penalties. So we'll go down sideline now to Heath Testman, who's got our alcohol thing again, man of the match.
Thanks very much, Mitch. And yes, I'm here with the alcohol thing again, man of the match, Reese and Napa. And Reese, dominant display from your boys at Pally today.
Yeah, I think just something we've been working towards ever since our first week of pre-season. We're sort of aiming towards this Cottesloe game, obviously a rematch of the last year's grand final. So we just sort of wanted to nail down the fundamentals and sort of just chip away and sort of get over them. So.
Yeah, so you put them to the sword well today. What about yourself? 9, 12, 15, just a Swiss Army knife for this Pally team?
I just tried to do my job, We had a sort of strong foundation with the forward, setting up a good platform. And I was just doing my part, just run hard, tackle hard, Jesse.
Your part, and you did it brilliantly today, Reese. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heath. And well done to Reese Anapu, who had a really strong game this afternoon. Big shout out to young Ollie Frostick as well, the tight head prop who went the full 80 this afternoon, was tireless. Jackson Pugh, also a busy player this afternoon, Nick. And Cottesloe, well, they've got a bit of work to do, and they'll be disappointed losing another home game here down here at Harvey Field.
Yeah, I just think they've got a lot to look at through that game this afternoon. You could probably take about 25 different angles of footage you want to go as a coaching unit this week. Grant was receiving ball, didn't really have options outside him. Was he moving on? Was he moving on to the ball well enough? Was he giving the options? Was it the players outside him? Was the forward pack good enough? We spoke about runners. We spoke about just wanting to be there. The kicking game itself at home with a classic Cottesloe home breeze. Not once did they utilise their own back corner. So what tactically in their minds do they want to target first is pretty much going to be the question for them in my mind.
Yeah, certainly a little bit of work to do for the Cottesloe 3-time premiership team down here. But Palmyra will be stoked to be able to get their revenge on the loss from the 2021 grand final. So that's it down here at Harvey Field this afternoon. It's been a lovely afternoon. On behalf of Nick Neary, Heath Testman and myself, we thank you for your company.